MK, and I am back with another She's Crafty mini paper pad class sketch. Whew. And I thought that I would admit really briefly that I fell in love with this sketch, that I forgot that it was a mini paper pad class. So I kind of sort of cheated. I used 2 full sheets of cardstock. I pulled out some dinosaur paper that I really loved, and then really quickly, to save grace, I pulled out some 6x6 papers. Some 6x6 papers from the little paper packs that I have been working with. And I do mean little, because check this out. Look at this, you guys. I'm so stoked. Look at how much I've used. Yay! And there are, I want to say, 3 more weeks. So there, this is week 8, and then there's a 9 and a 10. So there's only 2 more weeks left. And look at this. But I also have been incorporating these in every project I have been doing since I started playing along with her mini paper pad class. And that's all it is about. It's about taking these little papers and using them up and destashing them. I do have to admit that I thought, I thought honestly that these were the only ones that I owned because of the fact that they were in my face. But the more that I went through my category bins, the more loose papers I have found. So I have a little bit of loose papers in my grungy bin, in my water bin, which I already admitted I had that one, but that one's almost gone. And then I also found like 1 or 2 in my travel bin, and then in my dino. I had one, it was all vellum, inside my dino category, my dinosaur category. So anyways, back to what we are doing. We're doing another dinosaur layout, in case you guys are curious. I love doing these, you guys. If I didn't space them all out, I wouldn't have any to do. But these are my favorite, one of my favorite layouts to do. If it's not cataloging old junk, then it is definitely dinosaurs, which is still old. Isn't that cool? Anyways, I thought that I would do a little bit of distressing. So I have Distress Oxide. Oh, I didn't mean to grab the oxide. Please hold. Sorry about that. I meant to grab my Distress ink, not oxide, in Antique Linen. I also have my Distress Oxide spray in Forest Moss. This one I did mean to grab the oxide, but that's all I own are oxides in my sprays. I think I want to do the Distress sprays too, but I need to find a home for them first, to be honest. Because I'm running out of space for my sprays. I have a spray addiction, if you guys aren't familiar. I have a huge, this was my first mixed media love, and I still love them to this day. They are so easy to work with, so versatile. You can do so many things with just a spray. And so I own several companies' sprays, and I just absolutely, this is my favorite, and I love it. Here is the sketch. I am actually going to flip it upside down. So these 2 little pictures are going to be over here, and this little picture is going to be up there. All this stuff, it's going to be upside down. Let's do this. Let's do this. This layout right here. Let's do it. All right, let's go.
All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is spray all of my cut pieces and do the mixed media that I wanted to do because it takes time to dry. So with this oxide spray, it sprays a very gorgeous color and then it oxides all by itself. So the colors are just going to be slightly different than when you first spray it. When I first sprayed mine, I got super excited, and then it oxide, and I was like, oh, well, I'm not sure if I like it, but I do. I end up liking it. So while I was talking about my oxides, I inked my bones and sprayed them and dried them, and now they kind of look like fossilized bones. And then I'm just cutting out my strips of paper to try and figure out how I'm going to put this layout together. Now, I do admit that it's a plain Jane layout, you guys. But I enjoy the way that it looks. I am okay with, not all the things being on the layout, but I am using this dinosaur in replace of the circle that is in the sketch. And so I do really enjoy having this little dinosaur guy. I don't know. I just really enjoyed coming up with this layout and didn't think much past the bones, to be honest. So here's where I decide that I do need to cut down that photo, even though I didn't want to. I do want it, to cut it down. And my original thought process was to cut the photo only where my son was. So I don't know what I was thinking or why I was, boo-hooing about having to cut a photo down. But I went ahead off camera. I cut them all down. I matted all my photos. And now I'm just trying to lay out, because I knew I was going to have to cut out these bones underneath my 2 photos. I knew I was going to have to cut them and stretch them to go all the way off the page. I don't want them just floating in space. I wanted it to look like they wrapped around the page. So that is just what I'm trying to do. And to get them to go even was a little bit tricky in the long run, only because it was like the bones aren't the same on both ends. Yeah, I know. It's technicalities. So the first thing that I do is I decide I do not like the text, you guys. I really needed to go somewhere else because the text was too much. I don't know what it was, but I didn't really enjoy it. So as soon as I flipped it over, I was like, oh yeah, that's what I'm looking for. Yep. And so I really got excited about all this. So I wanted my busy prints to be in the background, and then my dinosaur skeleton to be on top of them, and then the bones to be on top of the top of the dinosaur. And then that way, I can see the layers and I can see the dinosaur, but he's not up front and, like in charge. And so I think the smaller bones, the wraparound bones, actually help with that. So, but I do love how he turned out. If you guys notice, he is still gray, but now he is oxide. And so I don't know, he's just got a texture to him, and it's amazing and adorable, and I love it. But he isn't that brown color that was originally first sprayed. And so I don't know. I honestly don't know. I haven't heard of anybody else using the oxide sprays. And so I am kind of curious, if I'm using them wrong. Just curious. I do love the effects, but I don't know. Am I supposed to spray with water first? Am I supposed to prep my surface? Am I doing something wrong to keep that color? Because it seems like a couple of the oxide sprays are all the same oxide color, even though they do turn out to be, this one's pink and that one's blue, but they all turn green. They all oxide the same. So anyways, I'm just curious. And, maybe I need to go and check out a couple of Tim Holtz's videos and see what's going on. But in order for me to make sure that everything has the right placement, and like I said, I do need to trim off these bones and stretch them across the layouts, I needed to adhere them all together first. And so I just used my photos as the glue to glue everything together. And then when I went to go and put the larger bone down first, I thought, oh, well, I need to make sure it's straight across. So I do things the hard way until I discover the easy way. And so, yeah, it just is so weird, you guys. I didn't know exactly where my edge of my paper was. And so that's why I was trying to put the bone down first. And oh yeah, it was just, I made it more difficult than it needed to be. How's that? Let's just say that. So I'm going to work on the top piece. I am taking away, it had some sort of Ronin or Roman University up at the top. And I just wanted to cover those up and have it be a dinosaur identification sheet. That was it. I didn't need to know or wasn't interested in it being a university of sorts. And so when I ripped my piece, because I didn't want it to look like completely square. I ripped the edge, and when I went to go throw that piece away, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And it kind of matches my dinosaur and brings a black piece up at the top. I know, you guys, I need to just learn to let things go. But I did not. I glued it across the top of my layout and I liked it. I just thought it was a great touch. And now I am just finishing up that upper section of the, of the sketch. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I was going to have this rib cage be the like the base of my title, but I didn't know what I was going to do as a title. There's a lot of words on this sheet already, like the dinosaur identification, and then going across the page, there's all those up there as well. It just seemed like it was busy enough. And I didn't really need anything else. So I am looking at these strips, and I was going to add some more, more strips instead of just the ones that the sketch had. And I thought, no, because it kind of feels like another sketch that I just did, and I don't want to do that. So where the person's name is supposed to go who fills out the sheet, I went ahead and put one of the strips going across there. And then I was trying to figure out a little cluster for a title. And then the more I kept thinking, it's like, what is the title going to be? I don't know. I do like the rib cage over here too. I'm just thinking about putting a small little-ish title in the lines. I mean, so many things went through my brain right at the moment. And the more I kept looking at it, the more I was like, I love it as it is. Plain Jane. I glued a bunch of pieces of paper on a layout, and I'm okay with that. I don't want anything. And the more that I kept looking at it, the more I was like, I'm done. You guys, I don't want a title. I don't want anything. I want the bones, and that's it. And so I'm done. This is it. This is my sketch. There's that oxide. See what I mean? It turned green, and every single one of my sprays does that instead of staying the color it should. And so I really do need to do some research. Be sure to check out the links below to see who all is playing along with this sketch and She's Crafty's mini paper pad class. I cannot wait to see if you guys play along. Let me know. She does have a Facebook group going on, and if you guys are in that Facebook group and you play along with this sketch, I would love to be tagged in it to see what you guys do. All right, I will check you all tomorrow. Bye.